Alright, so for this video we'll be explaining the average hip and knee angle velocity movement with 60% of your 1 rep max for 12 reps. So for our first rep, again we have to rack up the weights, bring them up, go back, get to the lower position. This is where we'll start. We'll measure our angle of our knee from the ankle to the knee to the hip, and we're measuring this out on our app. We got it to be 60 degrees, and then moving up, our ankle to knee to hip was 162 degrees. So going from 60 to 160 degrees is a change of 102 degrees. And the equation to solve angular velocity is the change of the angle divided by the change of the time. As I just stated, the change of the angle is 102 degrees, and our change of time will stay the same as before from the other videos because it's the same video, the same squats. So our change of time for the first rep was 1.69 seconds. So we just take 102 degrees divided by 1.69 seconds to get 60.355 degrees per second for our first rep. So again, multiple squats. We just go to the last squat, last rep here, moving down. So at the bottom of our last rep, we got it to be 98 degrees, because at the bottom of the squat I measured to be 68 degrees, moving up to 164 degrees at the top of the rep, so it's a change of 98 degrees. So we took 98 degrees divided by the time it took to go up, which was 1.68 seconds, and we got that to be 58.333 degrees per second. And when averaging out the first rep and the last rep, we got our average angular velocity to be 59.344 degrees per second. And now again, Katie will explain the 90% 1 rep max at 225 pounds.
Okay, so for the first rep, we're going to be looking at how down in the, once he gets down there, we'll talk about it. When he's down in the eccentric position, the angle is at 71 degrees, and then it changes to 171 degrees when he gets up to the concentric spot. And that is about a change in angle of about 100 degrees. And again, the time is going to stay the same from the last video at 1.92 seconds. And to get the angular velocity, we will be dividing by the change in angle over the change in time. So you're going to do 100 degrees divided by 1.92. That equals to 52.083 degrees per second. Now, when looking at the last rep, he is going to be starting at 68 degrees and going to 164 degrees with a change in angle of about 98 degrees. And again, the time is the same from the last video at 1.98 seconds. So now we're going to do 98 divided by 1.98, and that equals 49.495 degrees per second. Now, we're going to do the calculations to average those two numbers out, and we get an average angular velocity of 50.789 degrees per second.
And again, our math will be on the next slide.